So storytelling, it sounds like an effective method to deal with problems we are facing in our groups. Actually, I'm working a lot with refugee and immigrant women and unaccompanied minors, a very special group, that we are facing many problems, especially with the children who go in the regular Greek schools. And when they come and we have our meetings, they tell us about the problems they are facing every day. How can I use storytelling working with these groups?
Well, storytelling is very effective for these people because they come from traditional oral communities also. And if you have also persons who speak a second language or try to write in a second language, then storytelling is wonderful because you can make mistakes and nobody notices. Even we are now speaking in a foreign language and we make slight mistakes that it's not noticeable. So when you use the storytelling, you encourage and empower people and they can express themselves. And in many stories, the hero is a weak person. I mean, either physically or sometimes mentally. He or she is not very bright. He or she is not rich, but it's someone who has lost everything or is in danger to lose everything, even if he is a king or a prince or a princess. So someone in need. And people who are victims of bullying identify with the hero or the heroine. The story I'm going to offer you to use in your groups is a typical story that you have a weak hero. You will form your little groups and ask your questions. So once upon a time, there was a whiskerless man, and he was derided by everybody. They said, you are not a man, you are a woman. You don't have mustache, you don't have face, a beard, you are not a man. And he was feeling okay with that. He didn't mind. And once he was sitting in the sun, and there were lots of flies around him, and he was eating his sandwich. And suddenly, the sandwich was covered with flies. And he took a cloth, and he was very fast, real fast. Puff! He did that. 1, 2, 3, 10, 30, 40 flies with one pop. And he said, I'm very brave. I'm the best. I will order a sword, a big sword, that with words written on the sword. With one path, with big capital letters, I kill 40. Then he ordered the sword, and he walked around. And he went in the forest, and he was lying under a tree. And then 40 giant men appeared. Giants. And they saw this little man, this weakling with no beard, whiskerless, but with a big sword, and they knew how to read. With one puff, I kill 40. And they said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 30, 40. We are 40. We are in danger. We will have to make him a friend. So now here you are in a mood of humor, you are in a playful mood, and you can ask the little groups, do you know somebody who is very weak, but he is brave and he can intimidate giants or people with bigger than him?
And they start talking then, expressing their own story of what happened on their trip, on their everyday life, in school, at home, in the park, in their everyday life. So how can I use this tool to help these women or these children?
You continue the story with triumph. Then you say, they went together in their house and they said, instead of bullying him, they said, we will be brothers. And one day they said, brother, go fetch some water from the well. But the bucket was enormous and he was weak. He couldn't pull the bucket. He was pulling, he was pushing, and he said, if the bucket is full of water, then I cannot carry it. So he went to the well, he took a string and he tied the well and he laid there waiting. And the big dragon came, the big Drakos, the giant, and he said, what are you doing here? Bring the water, fill the bucket, carry the bucket. And he said, it is very small task for me. I will carry the whole well. No, he said, no, you will destroy the well. I will do it. And then the dragon did that.
Okay, I might have a woman who says that I have met many dragons in my life. I have one in my house. I had one in my previous house. I met many dragons on my way to Europe. Okay, and she expresses that. How can I help her come out with a solution? How does it help her telling me her story?
Well, the hero is a weak person. So he said, you use the symbols of the story. And you said, he is weak, he knows that he is weak, but he is not admitting that publicly. Let no one understand that you are weak. Fight back. Do not obey. We have a scene when the 40 giants decide to kill. Now we have immediate violence. They decide to kill the man, who is called Spanos in Greek. Spanos means beardless. So it is something diminutive. And they say, when he is sleeping, we will go with big axes and hack him to death. He hears that. So he tries to be not ignorant, but be a step not behind, but in front of them. So tried to anticipate their actions, because violence escalates, and try to be ready when the violence escalates. Don't say, it will not happen to me. It will happen. So this is a preventive method. Try to find ways. If violence escalates, try to find alliance, try to find a safe refuge, try to not be present, try to escape. I don't know. You can ask the groups now that they are trying to kill him. What can he do? And now they begin, they form a community. And they say, this happened to me, this happens to me, I'm afraid that it will happen to me. And they exchange now. They exchange ways to avoid that and to fight back. You have formed a community. This is very important. And the story says Spanos went to bed, put a great log, a great wood inside the bed, covered with a blanket. And he was under the bed. The first giant in the darkness comes and hacks. Gap. Spanos from under says, ah. The second, gap, ah, gap, ah, gap, ah, gap, ah, gap, ah, gap, ah, gap, ah. And they are sure that they have made him mincemeat. They have annihilated him, dead and hacked. The next morning, he goes and says, I didn't sleep well. Why? The giant said, too many mosquitoes. I think 40 bites of mosquitoes. And the dragon says, he is so powerful. We will not harm him. We are afraid of him. So this is an empowering story and offers opportunity to find different solutions with humor, imagination, and what you actually did, it is not told in the story, but it is proposed by the method, is try to make alliances. Try to make your problem public. Then you will not be an isolated case, but a member of women suffering from such and such violence, and they find ways between them.